Swallow It. We've got special guest, another bad girl, Jela, in the building from Bad Girls Club 14. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
But your real name is
Jela Mina.
Yeah, I didn't want to f that up, so I was like, it is. Just looked at it like, what is it?
Yeah, everyone just calls me Jela. When they can't pronounce my name, they're just like, I'm just say Jela.
That's why I did it. I was like, we got Jela in the building.
Yeah.
From Bad Girls Club 14. She just explained to me that she lives in New York, and I thought she was from Texas. But let's actually explain that, because I feel like a lot of people are probably like, wait, she's in New York?
Okay, so when I was 17, I'm from Atlanta.
You were born in Atlanta.
Right.
Born and raised, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And so when I was 17, I moved to Houston. I did my last year and a half of high school there.
Yeah.
And I went to college in Texas.
Okay.
And then when I got cast for Bad Girls Club, I was cast in Texas.
Right.
So that was just kind of like my automatic like city that I repped.
Right.
So now everyone thinks that I'm from Houston, which I mean, I don't really mind people saying that I'm from Houston or whatever, because it is my second home. And I did live there for an extended period of time, like going into like my real like adult life. So it's like my second home. And then so I moved back to Atlanta in like 2017. So I did Bad Girls Club 2015. And then I moved back to Atlanta for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then last August during Fashion Week, I moved to New York.
Yo, you move a lot. Moving sucks.
Yeah. Moving does suck, but growing up, I moved around a lot. So I think the thing for me is like, I like to see the world. And if I'm somewhere and I feel like I want to go somewhere else, like I don't have any kids, I don't have anything holding me back in life. So it's like, I've been here. I know what this city has to offer. Let me go somewhere else and see what that place has to offer. Because that's the only way I feel like you really get to experience life and gain a true understanding of other people's culture and their way of life. I feel like it makes me appreciate life more, because now I can kind of see why other people live or act the way that they do, or like what kind of shapes them into the types of people that they are. Right.
So how do you like New York winters though?
This past winter actually wasn't that bad.
Really?
I thought it was.
Okay, let's talk about a bad winter though.
When I used to go and visit New York, just visit, because I have a sister that lives there, and it would always be cold. So like, to me, a bad winter in New York is like when the snow is like
to your kneecaps,
or like halfway up your leg. And you have, and it's raining outside,
or it's like hail and then sleet, and then there's black ice. It doesn't look like black ice.
Yes, or you're like trying to get to the train and you slip.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't take a train.
Anything.
Or a subway.
Girl, I take them. Well, I used to when I first moved to New York. I always took the train and the subway. I had a monthly like Metro card. And I didn't find anything wrong with it, because like the train will actually get you places on time.
Yeah, but have you seen Law & Order SVU?
That's like one of my favorite shows.
Some shit goes down in that subway every other episode.
Look, every single time. I used to be in the subway like, I wish my would play with me today.
Yeah. I mean, if someone did, I always say I want to take like a self-defense class or something, because like we all know I got my ass beat on Bad Girls Club. I'm not really a fighter.
Right.
And then I just imagine if like a grown-ass man tries to attack me, I'm done.
I think that honestly, like, I feel like, yes, it is a TV show and things like that do happen in real life.
Right.
But I feel like in this day and age and like right now, I feel like it's too much stuff going on for people to be playing any types of games.
No,
and
I feel like
there's a lot of police in the subway stations. Like, it be police on the train.
Right.
It be police waiting to make sure that you swipe into the subway station. Like, it's just too much going on for you to be like doing something stupid and end up in jail behind something crazy.
I know.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But I feel like because the world is so shitty right now, people are like getting to that point where they're like, I almost don't give a fuck.
Right. And see, that's why I don't take the train anymore, because like right before the pandemic started, I moved. So I was living in like Harlem, like closer like to the Bronx.
Right.
Kind of like by the Apollo Theater.
Right.
But now I still live in Harlem, but I live like on the Upper East Side, closer to Central Park and like
Gossip
Spanish
Girl.
Harlem. Yes.
XOXO.
So the area where I live now is a little bit cleaner, not as congested, and it's easier for me to like navigate and get where I gotta go to.
Right.
So I don't really feel the need to like take the train or anything, and then it's just too germy. So I don't even have to worry about that now. Like literally, if I'm leaving my house, it's usually to go to the airport.
Right.
Everything else, I can pretty much walk.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You just set up a office in downtown.
Yes.
So are you leaving New York to move to LA?
Yes.
There we go. Welcome to LA, girl. You've traveled here before, right?
Yes, I've been coming here for 5 years. Just back and forth. So the first time I came to LA was for my 25th birthday, and it was months before I got cast for
Right.
Bad Girls
How old
Club.
are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. I'm 32. Welcome to the 30s club.
Them dirty 30s, girl.
Yep. That's when you're supposed to be 30, flirty, and thriving.
Okay. I like that. But yeah, so I've been coming here for years, and like I have a really good friend that lives here, and when I decided to like do my clothing line, she
Right.
kind of like showed me the ropes and like really helped me out.
Right.
And so now I'm just getting to a point where it makes more sense for me to be here so that I can really give my clothing line and my business the time it deserves.
Right.
As opposed to having to split my time here, split my time there. And I don't work in New York anymore because everything is closed.
I know.
So,
And New York got hit like the worst in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now it's LA, so welcome back.
Right. Welcome to the crazy. Just
Yeah.
move from one place to the next.
Yeah, welcome back. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your clothing line. That was a
Okay.
question later on, but since we're already on the topic, we can talk about it. So what is your clothing line called?
My clothing line is called Normal Culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I came up with the name in 2009.
Oh, wow.
I was home from college and I was on the phone with my boyfriend at the time. I remember this like it was yesterday. I came home from college that summer, and I've always just been like very like business savvy.
Right.
And so the guy that I was dating at the time was really just into like Jesus and the Bible. He had read the Bible like 2 or 3 times, and he was just like,
Oh, wow.
he was like really, he's still like an amazing person.
Right.
And I was like, I want to start a business. I want to start like a nonprofit organization, because that's originally what the name was supposed to be for. It was going to be like an umbrella company that I could do a lot of different things with. And I
Right.
still plan on doing that. But I was like, I want to start a business, and I want the name to be very universal so that I can use it for a lot of different things.
Right.
And so I was like, Normal Culture. Like, it just kind of came to me because I had another business before that, and it was called Urban Sophisticates.
Oh.
So I like wordplay.
Right.
And I came up with it, and it just kind of stuck, and I never used it.
Right.
And then after I came off of Bad Girls Club, I was like, I'm going to use that. And I went and got like the paperwork and everything done for it. And that was pretty much how it started.
Right. That's cool.
So yeah.
Starting a clothing line is no joke. Are you nervous?
I'm not really nervous. And the reason why is because I started, so last year is when I really started like the cut and sew process. When I first,
Do you do it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
I designed everything myself.
Right. My phone just went off, and we just had a whole conversation about putting our phones on silent.
So last year I started cut and sew, and I designed everything myself. I taught myself how to sew last year so that if there were certain things that I wanted to make,
Right.
then I could. But when I first started my line, it was just strictly just like hats and t-shirts. And then when I went into cut and sew last year, like I was just kind of like taking a shot out into the dark. Like I blew my savings last year flying back and forth to LA and
Right.
getting samples done and wasting money on this fabric and that fabric.
And I
just
feel
kinda
like
working on it.
a lot of people in downtown can take advantage of people that are just starting samples.
Yeah. It's very easy to get taken advantage of because nobody really says, okay, well, you don't have to get all of these samples made at once. Get one sample made, perfect it, and then move on to the next.
Right.
And so, but I was fine with it because I feel like that's just a part of the growing pains and a
Right.
part of the process. So this year when I decided to like attack my clothing line again, it was during the pandemic. I wasn't working. I was just collecting my unemployment. Yes, I was collecting my unemployment proudly. You do not have to be ashamed to get unemployment because what that means is you actually had a real job on W-2 and you were making an honest living and that you can recoup those funds.
Okay. Wait, were people giving you shit?
Well, no, but you just kind of like, no, because I don't give a damn. But you know, like, I see people on Instagram and like on Twitter, trying to like give people shit for getting unemployment. And I'm like,
they're the same people that were the first in line waiting for the stimulus check. So.
Right. And my thing is, everybody got to, if you filed your taxes, it doesn't matter how much money you did or didn't make.
Right.
You were eligible for a stimulus check.
Right.
If you worked, it doesn't matter how much money you did or didn't make. You are eligible for unemployment.
Right.
Even if you own your own business, as a business owner, you can be your own employee.
Right.
And you can still collect unemployment.
Right.
Because you're paying taxes.
Right. And you can be, and people in the entertainment business, you can still file for unemployment as a self-contractor.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't know that. So I just would sit back, like, even like now, like I sit back on social media and I see a lot of people be like, oh, y'all waiting on y'all unemployment check. But I'm just like, you probably wish that you could have got one.
Or you probably did get one and you're talking shit.
And you talking shit. It's
or
okay.
you got denied and you're talking
shit. You talking shit. Like, because you know they were giving like $600 a week. That's $2,400 just off the rip. That
Wait, who was?
The government.
For unemployment.
So how it works with unemployment is, like, let's just say you have a job and you can get a certain amount based off of that.
Right.
So you can probably get up to, let's just say $500 a week, just from like whatever your salary was or however much you were making. And then the government was automatically giving everyone, no matter how much you made, an additional $600 a week.
Oh no, I should have signed up. Oh, my heart.
So literally you could have gotten $4,400 over the last couple of months from unemployment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't give a damn what
and that
y'all
could be
say.
used for investment.
It could be used for investments. It can be used to pay your rent. Like, I used my money just to pay my rent so that I didn't have to worry about it.
And New York is more expensive than LA, correct?
It is.
Well, thank God you're moving back. Or here for the first time.
Right.
Where are you getting a place downtown?
Yeah, I'm going to be staying downtown.
Downtown's, I feel like, way more expensive than anywhere else.
Is it? Because I've only really explored downtown. So I feel like maybe, and that's what my friend was saying. She was like, maybe you should get out and explore like a few other areas.
I think you should. I don't know if you should. I think you should work downtown. I don't think downtown should be your home and your workplace.
Really?
I hate downtown.
I love it. Maybe because it's very walkable and it's very easily accessible. And it reminds me of New York. Just better weather.
It does. It is like, it's like a city type. Yeah,
right.
That's what you're used to.
It's like New York, but with better weather.
Yeah, but
because you can walk everywhere.
It's like so like dirty downtown.
It is. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes, like I just be like, you know what? Y'all different. Y'all different. I gotta go.
It's just like, it's really like, I lived downtown when I first moved here. I made the worst decision ever because I just like moved out here on a whim. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm just gonna go, and I moved into this furnished place. I was $5,550 a month.
You better remember every dollar amount.
And I do, girl. That was the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. And the entire apartment is the size of this kitchen. I'm talking about 2 bedrooms, like no closet space. It was the worst experience ever. And I had to like just walk around everywhere, and I hated it. Mind you, I walk here.
Right.
But it's not like downtown walking.
Right, it's different.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me run to the corner store real quick. Like, not like, damn, let me go take care of my errands.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you are, because if it depends, like, because no one's really having events or anything right now. So it's like maybe once a month you'll have to go to like some type of event where you have to like pay $50 for an Uber. Because downtown's far as hell.
Right.
Compared to like everything else. I'm like 5 minutes from everywhere. Like my Uber's like $5-10 everywhere, unless I go downtown.
Right.
Or to Encino or the Valley.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, so that was pretty much how I got to where I am now. But saying that to say that I decided to relaunch my clothing line during the pandemic. And at first I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like I was a little afraid. I was a little scared. And I was dating this guy at the time. Like we just broke up.
Oh, that was one of the questions. So here she is just hammering out all the
I'm just
questions.
giving it all to you,
I'm like,
girl.
she's literally going through my list, you guys.
So I won't even we'll talk about that. But basically, like, I really felt like I needed somebody to help me with that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have all of the money for it at first.
Yeah.
And so I was like, damn, how am I going to get this done? But it was like I had spent so much money on it already that I didn't want to just give up on something that I was very passionate about. And like literally, when I just released all like control and just like gave it back to God.
Right.
When I tell you, like, so many doors just start opening up. Like, even people that didn't even know that I was working on the clothing line. Like, I had this one friend.
Right.
He just started cash-apping me money, like $2,000 here, $1,500 there, $1,600 there. And he would just be like, "Oh, you can have that." What?
Damn,
I can have it. Like,
can I have a friend like that?
Like, I can have it, or you won't, like, or you want this money back, like later. Like, nah, bro. Like, you good? Like, that's for you. What?
What was he? Was he expecting anything in return?
Girl, no, he a scammer. Just gonna be real.
Oh,
so he would just be like sending me money, and I'm just like, dog, you just paid for my fabric.
Yeah.
Thank
But like, that's
you.
a blessing.
Literally, because like one day he cashed at me like $5,000, like in increments, like 1,600, like 2,000, whatever. And he was like, oh, he was like, this for you. You got it. Like, go buy you a bag or something.
A bag.
A bag.
Yeah.
I'm about to invest this.
Yeah.
And do what I need to do for my clothing line.
Yeah.
And then literally, like, when I tell you, like, when I really sat back and just started putting all my faith in God, and I didn't really worry about like where the money was coming from or how I was going to get the money. I just knew it was coming.
Right.
I wasn't worried about the rest of it. The minor details, I was like, nah, because God already got me. He didn't put me in a position to start back working on it. And he didn't bring me this far
to fuck up.
To fuck up, or he didn't bring me this far to just bring me this far.
Yeah.
Like, I got further to go.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like, even to this day, like, girl, I got chills. When I got to LA, like last time I was in LA, I went and looked at an office space, and I was like, oh, it's during the retrograde, so I don't want to secure it during the retrograde because
it's been a weird time. I feel like the past like 3 weeks have been like not okay. Everything has been off. I'm like, I just can't. I don't even want to light any of my like money candles. Nothing. I'm not doing it.
Right. I waited for the new moon.
Yeah. But even in the new moon during a retrograde, I'm like, I'm going to skip this one.
Right. And
I'll talk to you next new moon.
Thank you. And so literally I called the office and I was like, oh, that space has been booked. We don't have any spaces right now. I was like, all right, bet. I prayed about it and I was like, if it's meant for me to have an office in that building, it'll work out.
Right.
And so now that I'm back here, after my event, I was with my family and I was like, let me just call over there because I do all of my production in that building anyway.
Right.
And they were like, oh yeah. I talked to the guy. He was like, you know what? I actually do have another one that's the same price and the same size as the one that you wanted before. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, if you can be here in 15 minutes, I'll show it to you. I was like, okay, I'm leaving Whole Foods now. And I just walked over there and literally like, I got an office in LA now.
That's wild. See, it's all about timing.
It is. And I feel like more so than anything, like I just let God order my steps. And even like my mom, my older sister, and my younger brother, they're in town. They saw the office space. And like I told them, I was like, I don't have a lot of clients yet, but I feel like the more time and energy I put into this space and creating it to make it like an experience and to make it comfortable for people to actually want to show up here, it'll make me more productive. I'll get up early and I'll come to my office to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to create the revenue that I need to secure the life that I'm trying to live.
Right.
And I'll do more things that'll make me more progressive. It'll actually motivate me because I know that I have a bill that I have to pay.
Right.
So
you can't run from your bills.
You can't run from your bills. So I'm just like, this is just like the beginning of me doing what I got to do to force myself away from New York.
Right.
And to make myself be here more permanently.
Yeah. And it was like, it almost happened for a reason.
Yeah.
It
did.
So you were on Bad Girls Club 14.
Yes.
We had to like obviously talk about this because our Bad Girls Club fans.
Right. They're so
like,
aggy.
Yeah, but sometimes, but it's like kind of cool that it's been so long.
And they still love us.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, like we can link up. They love a good link up.
They do. They live for it. Yeah. They're like, oh my God.
I can't believe this is happening. This is the best ever. So obviously they have several Bad Girls Club questions. So we're just going to go ahead and get those over with and then get to the juicy stuff.
Yeah, let's get the past out the way.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get the past out the way. So you did Bad Girls Club 14. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it now that you're older and time has passed, was there anything you did on the show, anything you said or anything you did that was like cringeworthy to yourself now where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't say or do that?
No. Not one thing.
She was like, absolutely not.
Actually, you know what? There is one thing that I wish that I wouldn't have done.
What's that?
I sent Tina home because the producers asked me to, but Tina was nice. That's the one thing that I wish that I wouldn't have.
Which one was Tina?
She had the blonde hair. She was from New York, Hispanic girl, but she was really cool, just kind of laid back, Like,
but let me guess, she was really quiet, didn't start any drama, and the producers were like,
and she really missed her, and she really missed her boyfriend.
Well, no one should be doing the Bad Girls Club if you have a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why come?
Right. But honestly, like, I wish that was the one thing that I didn't do because she didn't do anything to me. And that's me being an adult. And I even apologized to her at the reunion. And I told her that I was sorry, that I never had anything against her. And that the only reason why I kicked her out of the house or, whatever was because the producers asked me to. Had they not come to me, because I was just about it. Like, I was about that life. They knew it.
Yeah.
Had they not come to me and asked me to, like, kick Tina out while she's tanning in the backyard, like, I would have left that girl's stuff right where it was. Like, I wouldn't have done that.
So let me ask you a question. When you put her stuff outside, she just didn't come back in and like put it away? She's just like, I'm going home?
Yeah, she was like, I'm over this. I ain't got time for this.
Damn.
I was like, damn, really?
That was really... They probably knew she was going to do that.
Probably.
So let me ask you this question. It's going to come a little later, but like, do you think that producers and NBC and Oxygen and all these other people, do you think they give a shit about any of us, or do they just give a shit about their paychecks and getting a good camera shot?
The latter, for sure. Because my thing is this, if they cared about us, and I'm going to be real with you.
We'd be getting that residual paycheck, number one.
Number one, we will be getting a residual paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, I feel like a lot of girls that have done Bad Girls Club have PTSD because of the way that they were treated.
Yes. Yep.
They have not reached out, girl.
Yeah, goosebumps.
They have
right?
not reached out to any of us to see, how are you mentally after this experience? Is there anything that we can do to help you further your career? Or is there anything that we can do to make you feel better, or not even necessarily make you feel better, because we're grown at the end of the day. It's not your job to appease me. But at the very least, we all know how traumatic Bad Girls Club was. That shit was like being in jail.
It was, yeah.
That was jail.
Yeah. It's like,
that's the closest to jail that you'll ever get without actually being locked up behind bars.
And I tell people that because they're like, I've met so many people, like, especially years ago when Bad Girls Club was still like doing auditions and casting calls or whatever. People would come up to me at like CVS or a supermarket and be like, I strive to be on Bad Girls Club. And I was like, and they're like, how would you describe your experience? I said, I describe it as a prison sentence.
It is.
It was like, mind you, I would never take it back.
Never.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't trade it for all the tea in China.
No, me neither. I literally sometimes when I look back, I'm like, I don't even know who that chick is, but she's like funny. She's like learning. She's growing. I'm different, but I wouldn't take it back. I am so happy I did that show.
Right.
But I'm not happy with how they punked us. I'm not happy how every girl has always been in competition with another girl, and we couldn't all just put our fucking feet down and be like, no, we're gonna get this fucking money, and then we can beat each other's asses later.
Right. Like, I feel like they knew who the weak-minded girls were on each season that they could manipulate and they could use as a ploy.
Right.
Because if we all really stuck the together, we could have changed the narrative every season.
Yeah.
We let them control the narrative.
Right.
And that's why the producers always kept the upper hand, because if we all came in the house, because every season we all get in the house and we have our kumbaya circle and say, we're not going to touch each other's stuff.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, something happened and a bitch bitch bed in the pool. Like, next thing you know,
mustard and ketchup. Yep.
So I just feel like if we as individuals, because we wasn't making no money,
nothing.
Well,
the spinoffs is where you made money.
Right.
The original season,
I
I left broker than when I came.
Girl, and that's what I tell everybody, because before I did Bad Girls Club, I worked a corporate job. I had a salary.
Oh, damn.
I left my corporate job to go be on fucking Bad Girls Club.
For pennies, bro.
Right. So and people like, so, oh my God, I know you made so much money. I just tell people all the time, I made money before Bad Girls Club and after Bad Girls Club. And I'm going to just be real with y'all. I don't know if anybody else wants to tell y'all, but they only paid us $500 a week.
Yep. Damn.
That's it.
First time someone has dropped that, but yeah, $500.
It's only y'all. They only pay you $500 a week to do Bad Girls Club. When you first get in the house is stocked with liquor and snacks.
And you think you're gonna live this
listen,
life.
and when that food and them snacks and stuff are gone, you have to take money out of your weekly stipend to pay for it, unless they take you out to eat somewhere where they want to film, and then they'll pay for it. But everything else you got to take care of. So they're literally just giving you money for you to spend to get up.
Yeah. And that's all they want you to do.
Ain't nobody, look, that's why I told you I'm very candid. Ain't nobody else gonna tell y'all, but that shit only $500 a week, and the headache wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't.
The embarrassment and the mental strain that it takes on you after the fact was not worth the $500.
And you know what's crazy is the first couple of seasons of Bad Girls Club were getting $2,400 a week.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep, and then they realized, yo, would do this shit for free.
Yeah.
So let's give them the most. Real World got paid they get paid $250. They got half of what Bad Girls Club got.
Same production company.
Same production company making millions, paying Kardashians millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, Bad Girls Club has the same production company as Real World and the Kardashians. Mm-hmm. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, but so when they're paying out millions of dollars to the Kardashians, we're getting our ass beat for $500.
Yeah. And Kim just got her ass beat by Courtney for like a lot.
Like 10 mil.
Right.
It's not even a comparison, bro. I'd get my ass beat every day for 10 mil.
So it's like, what? But yeah.
Okay, so why did you decide to attend the reunion after your shit got trashed and you got sent home?
Well, because I already knew that the twins were not going to go to the reunion. And I felt like because we left the show early, I didn't know what they filmed or what was being said about me after I was gone. And I felt like that was my opportunity to speak my truth. Right. I'm not going to, even though y'all did something to me that was beyond my control, I'm not going to give y'all the opportunity to take my truth away from me.
Right.
I'm not going to give y'all the opportunity to control my emotions, and I'm not going to give you the opportunity to dictate how I deal with the situation.
Right.
So that's honestly why I chose to do the reunion, and because they paid me a lot.
Yeah, it was like $2,000. I'm
like,
right, why couldn't you guys pay us this on like a weekly basis?
Right.
Because if we were filming for 3.5 months, $2,000 a week, that would have been like a nice little.
Yeah, that would have been a nice come up, but that's too much. Like, right.
Yeah, they did, and they don't give a shit. While they're all pulling up to set in their Rolls Royces and new Mercedes.
Girl, it's one of them. It's one lady. I want to say her name was Courtney.
No clue.
She had like blonde hair. I don't know, but
was it short?
No. I can't remember what her name was, but I actually liked her during my season. And the night that we left, she like pushed me. And if I ever see her, I'm gonna beat her ass.
Oh no! Did she have long ass hair?
She had long blonde hair.
Yeah. Okay. She came in on Bad Girls Club 13, and me and her almost scrapped. And I don't even fight, but I was like, I will literally.
What's her name? Courtney?
I don't know.
It was something with like a Jewish last name. But like, I can't remember, but she was cool.
No, she's skinny.
She's skinny. Yep. And she was a little fit, had a cute little shape. I can't remember this bitch name.
But she had an old ass face, kind of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, you didn't even want to say it. Yeah, I know exactly. She came in to sub for someone on Bad Girls Club 13. Mind you, we're already halfway through the season, and we would all shower and like sit at our tables, especially in the morning if no one is filming, with no tops on, like
they
just
hated
naked.
Me for that. They hated me.
And she calls me down on the bat phone. The bat phone is like basically like you're about to get someone's about to get in trouble. So I run downstairs. I'm like, "What's up?" She goes, "Put your shirt on." I said, "No." I go, "I sit like this every morning. I'm not putting on my shirt this morning."
Right.
She took $350 out of my weekly check.
Oh, no. See, they wasn't playing with me like that because I was the heartbeat behind my season. They wasn't taking no money from me. I think they might have tried that shit one time and I went the fuck off.
I don't know. They had to call like 4 producers downstairs because I was in her face. So I found out that she's like usually on Real World.
Yeah.
And some dude I used to fuck with, CT, was on Real World. And I think she's just like a huge CT fan. And I was like, get the fuck off the set then. Like nobody asked you to be here.
But yeah.
Yeah, hit her for both of us.
Yeah.
Tell her I want my $350 back.
But you know who I did like?
Who?
Steve. With the bald head. White guy. Yes! Bald head with the beard, like reddish.
Yeah, and he was a camera guy at first.
I loved him.
He was a camera guy at first, and then he became a producer.
And even like after my season, I think he ended up seeing me like at the grocery store or something like in North Hollywood. Whatever it was. And like we even followed each other on social media for a second. But he was cool. I was like, damn, I really hate that you worked for this show because I could have fucked you, dog.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
I like the black guy Solo.
I don't think we didn't have a black guy.
Oh my God, he was the coolest motherfucker ever.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, can you please do every show I'm on? Like the coolest dude on the planet. Cool ass dude. And all the girls used to flirt with him. So he's like literally like a beautiful chocolate man. And all the girls are like,
beautiful
hi.
chocolate man.
Yeah. So were you upset that you got sent home early? Or were you like, okay, going?
When we pulled up to the house and I seen that shit in the yard, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is the first time like I'm ever really just getting like for real candid about it. I didn't think that was my stuff. I thought that was a twin stuff. I was like, damn. But then I seen white stuff and I was the only person wearing white.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, that's my shit. I was like, that's our shit. So I think for me, like, when I saw the stuff, like,
it was like red. You saw red?
Right. But I was like, you know what? We can manipulate this situation. We weren't able to, though, because we went into the house
ready to scrap,
ready to fight. And I feel like if we would have went into the house and played it cool and be like, all right, fuck it, y'all ruined some shit. But they had ruined way too much. Like, it was to the point to where we couldn't even play it cool and beat them up in their sleep. It wasn't none of that, because literally we pulled up to the house, and when I tell you from the gate, our stuff was in the bushes when you first pulled up. It was all across the lawn, around the side of the house. It was like as soon as we left them, they was like, fuck it, game on, and just started taking our stuff, throwing it around. And it was so much that had been destroyed, and the disrespect was to another level that for me, it was no coming back for that. Like, I'm glad y'all sending me home, because now I can really get disrespectful and give it up to y'all like I've been wanting to for real.
It's funny because on our season, me and Gabby left. When we came back, I just knew, like, no matter what you do, you can be heard because you always have your mic on.
Right.
The person changing our mics really with me and Gabby, and she was like, yo, stay strong when you get home. So I knew we were about to get like fucked up. So we pulled up to the house and I was like, they probably ruined all our stuff, like blah, blah, blah. They didn't touch not a single item of ours. They fucked up the own house that they're living in. They put food in the pool. They broke like vases. And I was like, what the fuck? And then like seasons after, I started really fucking up people. But for us, we got lucky. They just fucked up the house that they had to continue living in.
Girl, first of all, because they fucked up the house so bad. Well, actually, me and the twins, we really fucked that house up on our way out. Because see, what happened was when we got back to the house, our shit had already been destroyed to the point of no return. So I was like, fuck that, they fucked up our shit. Let's tear this mother house up. We finna burn this down to the ground. We tried to set the house on fire.
Oh,
I swear to God, on a stack of Bibles, that house was going on fire. If we could have, if there was a match and some gasoline, I would have set that bitch ablaze like Bernadette off of Waiting to Exhale, and would have sat there with my cigarette like.
it's a great scene, by the way.
Yes.
For all the youngins, if you haven't seen that yet, please
go watch
the
Waiting
movie.
to Exhale. She fucked that
up. Like up. It's like a classic scene.
Listen, if I could have embodied that in that moment, but when I tell you, like, literally, like, I punched holes in the walls, I snatched thermostats and alarm systems off the walls. I took shoes and everything that I could and threw it through windows. Like, I was busting windows, everything. Like, we took like the appliances, like we pulled the refrigerator down, the microwave, like we knocked out every window that we could. So guess what? Y'all up our y'all motherfuckers gonna have to pay to get this house fixed.
Yeah, and it's like they're like on a rental.
Yeah,
like
I know whose house it was. Do you know whose house that was?
No.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, obviously. Tell us.
Bitch, that was one of the Spice Girls' house. I want to say Scary Spice. Whichever Spice Girl had the kid with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Mel B.
Is that Scary Spice, right?
That's Scary Spice.
Right.
Yep.
That was her house. So sis, I'm sorry I didn't know that was your house, but they had us all the way f***ed up. And you got your money, so it's cool. It ain't no love
Yeah, and
lost.
she probably looked at them like,
She was probably like, damn, I'm glad they f***ed it up because now I can renovate and like do everything I want to do to it. Like,
she probably
girl, that
sold
was a
it.
blessing in disguise for you. Mm-hmm. We helped you out.
Yo, come on the podcast. Let's talk about it.
But no, so like literally when we got home, we f***ed the house up. And it was to the point where like, I want to say it was Sinead pulled a knife on somebody, like on security and the cameraman. And then so like, You know, they sent us to a hotel that night because I'm very...
They didn't show none of this, right?
No, they didn't show any of this. So I'm really smart. So when they started doing all of this, like I have a plate in my arm and they were like trying to like rough us up and do the most. I said, I need to go to the hospital. I'm hurt.
Like mad calm like that?
I need to go to the motherfucking hospital right now. Y'all need to call the ambulance or else I'm going and knocking on every neighbor door. And y'all need to give me my motherfucking cell phone right now.
Was this after they sent you home or before?
This was like in the midst of, I said, I don't know who the lawyer is or where the fuck y'all got my phone at, but y'all had my phone when I pulled up to this and I need my motherfucking phone back right now. They didn't give us our phone right then.
Right. No,
they was playing bull games with us.
Yeah.
We didn't get our phones till like the next day.
Right.
So the night that they kicked us off, or they took the girls to a hotel and we were just going through trying to salvage whatever we could. Like they had us digging in pissy water. Like we didn't know that these had pissed in that water that our stuff was in.
Ew.
And so like we just looking at all of this stuff and we just like, what the fuck?
Well, I knew that there was stuff in a bathtub.
Right. And so let's just say like the next day when we got back to the house or whatever, they wanted to keep filming us. But at that point, they had already told us that we were done with the show. Guess what? The next day I pull up to the house, put your mother camera away because I haven't signed any consent forms for you to film me or anything. They talking about, well, we have to capture the rest of the story. Well, I'm not giving you consent to film me. And if you film me, I'm calling the police. And you don't have my clearance to use this footage. And if you do, I'm going to sue the fuck out of you. So turn the mother cameras off. That's why that stuff is not on TV, because I made them turn those cameras off. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so they shut off the cameras, and so you didn't do basically the OTFs. OTFs are exit interviews.
So I did my exit interview maybe like a week later.
Right.
They came and picked me up from North Hollywood.
Right.
And then I did my exit interviews. But basically, the night that we got home and they fucked up all of our, we only basically had like very little to salvage.
Yeah.
Because everything had been ruined. So everything that was like soiled or ruined or that we just didn't want to touch at that moment, we left it there. And then so the next day when we came back to finish getting the rest of our stuff, we were still waiting on our cell phones.
Right.
And when we were waiting on our cell phones or whatever, they kept trying to act like they didn't know where our phones were. And I just wasn't having it because I was older than the twins. So yeah. So basically, they were trying to play us the next day when we got home or when we came to the house to get our stuff.
Right.
They wanted to film us, but I wasn't with it. And I was, like I said, I was older than the twins. On the show, the twins had turned 21.
Oh my God.
They turned 21 on March 21st. That's why I remember, because they turned 21 on the 21st.
21 is my favorite number. I was just literally telling Randy about that.
So they turned 21 on the 21st, and then I was already 25.
Right.
And so I'm a little bit older. I'm probably a little bit more savvy when it comes to certain things.
Right.
And so I told them straight up, I was like, fuck that. Don't let them film you. I was like, when we get up in this bitch, ain't nobody filming us. And when we were outside, I told the producer straight up, y'all kicked us off the show last night. That means that in order for you to film me today, that I have to sign a waiver. I'm not signing a waiver. I haven't signed a waiver.
Right.
It ain't happening. Go get my motherfucking cell phone, or I'm finna knock on everybody's door and make them call the police and have them in Chatsworth on y'all ass.
Chatsworth.
We literally went to the neighbor's door. We was running down the street screaming, help. I swear to God. I swear to God. It was like a scene out of a horror movie.
Oh my
we
God.
was running down the street screaming for help because they were trying to film us and we didn't want to be filmed. They were trying to manipulate us. We weren't with it. They were acting like they didn't know where the our phones were, or like they couldn't get in touch with the people that had our phones. But y'all are lying, because when we pulled up to the house, y'all made us put our phones in the bucket. So where the fuck is the bucket?
No, not only that, they put all your private stuff like your phone, your license, this, and that in a plastic bag with your name on it. Like, you know where the fuck my shit is at, so give it to me.
So give it to me. Stop playing. And see, that's when I think that's when they realized that they couldn't play with me mentally. So they didn't try to play with me or the twins, because they knew that I wasn't going to let them play with me or the twins like that.
Right.
Like, I've always, like, I don't even know why, but I've always just felt like they big sister or something. Maybe because I was older than them on the show.
Right.
And I loved them. And like, we just like always had like a good relationship on the show. We just always connected. So I was like, fuck that. Like, y'all not finna play with me and my sisters like this.
Right.
Play with anybody else, not us.
Right.
And so that's why when we were like packing up our stuff to leave, or the shit really went down in the house, like during that scene, like you don't see. Just like when we tried to fight the girls, like they had them blocked off into a room and they made security take them to a hotel for the night. And then like the more we got into it and we were destroying the house and stuff like that, like there was actually a security guard that yoked me up. Like he choked me on the side of the house because like they were trying to manhandle us. And if you go back and watch the season from when we were getting kicked off of the show that night, if you notice, I was butt naked, or like I was in my panties, and people were like, Jela, why were you in your drawers? And the reason why I was in my underwear, I took my clothes off so that they couldn't grab me, because they were trying to grab us and manhandle us. They were trying to hurt us.
Yeah, you know what? I had an issue with this on the Bad Girls Club 13 reunion because something happened, and I forget why security at some point came after me. And the way they were touching me, I was like, yo, no man on the planet I don't give a is going to touch me like that.
I swear to God, on a stack of Bibles, even though I was naked, like I might have had on like my bra and my panties, but that was the only thing that I could have on in that moment, because they were trying to hurt us. They were jacking us up by our clothes, you know, throwing us all over the place. Like they were trying to hurt us. The security guards were trying to hurt us. Right. And so when I took my clothes off, if I take off my clothes, if I'm in my bra and panties, there's not very much that you can do.
Right. It's hard to explain to people that are watching from an outside view, because they take 3.5 months worth of footage and they break it down for 8 episodes and 2 reunion episodes, and they can edit however they want. Like I could be talking about you, I'm really talking about the next bitch. They can literally make you look however they want. So like when, you know, you get together and you're with another bad girl, because I've had like 3 or 4 bad girls on the podcast and everyone's experience has been so different. But everyone has a fucked up experience. Not one single person that I've had on this podcast has had a good experience.
Yeah, and then so like when I was on the side of the house trying to run to the front of the house,
right,
a security guard, he grabbed me and had me like this, like this, like arm up in the air, arm around my throat. Literally, he had me like this, and he told me, he was like, I ain't no regular security guard. I ain't one of these other security guards. He was like, I'll fuck you up. I swear to God. And he was like, ain't no cameras right here. He was like, I'll beat your ass and fuck you up. I swear to God. This man, a black man, stood on the side of the house and told me this. And it just fucked me up so bad, because I'm like, damn, bro, like you want to check that bad that you're willing to fuck me up or do something to me and I haven't caused any harm to you, and y'all sit around and let these people destroy everything that I own?
And not only that, you're a grown-ass man talking to a woman.
You're a grown-ass man, and I'm a woman.
Fuck the check. Fuck
and you're
way
else. Bigger than me. And the fact that you even get solace or comfort out of telling somebody after everything that you've seen that they just went through that was very traumatic, whether you agree with it or not, that you would fuck me up because I'm not trying to comply with what you're saying.
Right.
Because I'm trying to go and get somebody to help me because y'all aren't trying to help me.
Right.
And y'all are trying to hurt me. And I'm waiting on the ambulance to get here that y'all didn't even want to call.
They don't want to call
because
they don't want to pay for it.
And when the police and the ambulance got there, y'all didn't even want us to tell them what really happened in this house. And y'all stood there, and like the police and the ambulance had to make the producers and everybody leave from around us so that we could even open our mouths and talk. And like literally we didn't have our phones or anything, because that night I broke the house phone because I was so mad, and I wish that I wouldn't have did that so that I could have called back out.
Right.
But we had to figure out ways to call our parents and let them know, like, what the fuck just happened to us? Like, it was crazy.
I called my dad that night.
It was crazy.
Like, you got your ass beat? I'm like, yeah, Dad. They beat my ass. But yeah, no, at least you got an ambulance. They told me, they're like, hey, if you call an ambulance, you have to pay for the bill yourself. That's what they told me.
I wasn't playing no type of ass games with them.
I was 22 on the show, or 23. I don't know. It was 22 or 23. So I was just really naive to the game. And they told me really straight up right there that I could sue, because they were in the room for 40 minutes watching me and Gabby get our ass beat. They're like, if you want to sue, you can, but you'll be blackballed from the industry. And I was 23 at the time. So I was like, I see myself as like the next like Kim Kardashian. Like, I'm not going to sue and then not be like back on TV, you know?
And I think, okay, so if you go back, like, I feel like my season is just now kind of coming full, or who I was on my season is just now coming full circle.
Right.
Because on my season, I was very pro-Black. And I don't think that TV was ready for that.
Okay, that's one of my questions. So we're going to get into that. So let's not talk about that yet. Okay. That's definitely a topic that we're going to, we're going to talk about that. But what I want to talk about right now, I was just fixing my hair. Sorry, that's going to sound really weird for anyone listening to the audio and not watching the YouTube.
Let me fix my hair. Oh.
I don't know that song, but like it was
Beyonce.
I have no clue.
I think I'm ready. What?
I'm like a Beyonce fan, but what fucking song are you talking about?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Green light. Give me the green light. You got the green light.
No clue.
Girl.
I know. I'm canceled. Hashtag canceled.
Hashtag she's not a part of the Beehive.
No. Please forgive me. They're going to be fucking ripping me in this comment section. So before we get into that deep conversation, let's talk about everything that happened to you. And you don't have to answer what you don't want to answer, but obviously fans wanted to know what happened with you and the Clermont twins and the lawsuit. Because basically what happened is it is said that Bad Girls Club 14 was the nail in the coffin for the Bad Girls Club franchise.
Let me get close to the mic. It motherfucking was, and I'm proud of that.
It's done after that. They had so everyone says it was because they were turning oxygen to a crime a crime ID, but I'm like, no, it's because they couldn't afford it anymore.
Right. So basically, what happened was the night that they decided to ruin our stuff, or excuse me, the day that they ruined our stuff at night. The next morning we got to the house and we had to retrieve all of those items. And when we sat back and looked at everything that they did to us, we knew that they had done us wrong on purpose. And our stuff was way too expensive for us to just take an L and go home.
Right.
We didn't make enough money on a weekly basis to take an L and be able to replace the stuff that we came with and be okay.
Right.
And so, I told the twins, I was like, we need to find a lawyer before we leave LA. They got us in this hotel for the next couple of days. We need to find a lawyer. We need to do our due diligence and we need to sue the fuck out of them before we leave LA, or at least get the process started, because
it's just going to die out.
Right. Because they did us wrong. And we're not finna lay down and accept this shit like everybody else has in the past.
Right. Like me and Gabby and so many others.
We were the first girls as a collective to file a lawsuit against the production company.
Then after you guys did that, it was like this whirlwind of just Bad Girls.
Like, oh, fuck, let me get my money too. Yeah.
Bad Girls just came out of the cut, and I think they had like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
No, actually, you weren't the first Bad Girl.
No, we weren't the first, but I think that we were the
Kristen, Miami, first Bad Girl. I think supposedly she settled for like a couple mil.
Shut the fuck up.
She got drugged, so she got drugged.
And that weird bitch from her season ended up in her bed with that man.
I don't know.
Shannon, was that the season where Shannon got in the bed with the man and tried to I
don't know if there was
was it Shannon or Rocky? It was Rocky. Different Shannon.
Season.
Oh, different season. Shannon's sugar daddy or whoever was there, and then they got in the bed with Rocky and tried some weird shit. But what happened to Kristen?
That was
a different season.
That was like way years later.
Yeah.
Kristen was Miami season 5.
Right. I remember Kristen. I liked her.
Yeah. So they went on a trip, and I'm not. Guys, don't quote me on this. This is just what I heard. I don't know Bible. Like Kristen, you can come on the podcast. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what happened was they went to Jamaica on their trip, and they recorded somebody putting drugs in Kristen's drink. Let her drink it. She blacked out, went home, beat the shit out of Leah. They sent Kristen home. She got a lawyer, got the footage, sued Oxygen for a couple mil, and then she got blackballed from the industry.
That is very...
So she was the first one to actually file suit.
I knew that there weren't maybe a lot of girls prior to us that had sued the fuck out of them. Maybe like that had a vendetta against them. But so basically, So let's just say we were one of the first people to actually
be public about it.
To be public about it and not care. And my thing was, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about y'all blackballing me or whatever, because at the end of the day, I have to own and stand in my truth, and I got to do what's right for me, because y'all weren't protecting me and y'all weren't standing up for me.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched your season and I heard about them destroying your stuff, in my head, I'm like, well, did these girls not watch previous seasons? Like, why would you bring your expensive designer?
But if that's all you own, then what do you do?
I know, and I didn't ever think of it like that, because me, like, I was wearing like H&M, Forever 21. Like, I've never had a designer bag, so in my head, I'm like, why would these bitches bring their designer?
It's like, bitch, if I only own a pair of Valentino shoes, then what you want me to do?
Yeah, so like, I didn't think of it that way.
They destroy my Valentinos.
But I mean, if I did have expensive stuff in the house, like if my shit was not Forever 21 or H&M, I would have done the same thing. I'm like, someone's writing me a check, and I'm replacing everything I lost.
Girl, they destroyed a fucking Celine bag. It wasn't even my Celine bag, but I
don't
felt
even know
that.
how much. I don't even know how much that goes
for. That bag is probably at least like 15 bands.
Oh.
That one bag.
That's a down payment on a condo.
Or something crazy. You get what I'm saying? Like, the shit that they ruined, I feel like even the money that we got could still not even compare to like.
How much was destroyed?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys didn't write down everything that was destroyed?
No, we did. We had to itemize everything. So what happened was, excuse me, we packed up all of our shit in boxes and had to FedEx it home, girl. And so when we were at FedEx, they was like, "Oh my God, y'all moving? What's going on?" Like, we didn't want to tell them
Celine bags and shit.
We didn't want to tell them, "Oh no, we was just on Bad Girls Club. They fucked up our shit." But I had to mail boxes of soiled clothes home to my mom's house, and because I didn't want to throw the stuff away, because we knew that we were filing a lawsuit, just in case when we got to court, if they said, "Well, let us see it," you gonna see all this molded, nasty shit.
Right. Period.
And I'm fine with it. But it just sat in my mom's garage for months. And then after the lawsuit was settled, I just threw the stuff out.
Right.
Because I didn't need it for any reason anymore. But basically, yeah, like all of that soiled stuff, like when we really sat back and thought about it, like before we packed that stuff up, I remember sitting at a computer in maybe like the hotel lobby or like whatever it was, saying, "Oh yeah, that white t-shirt was $35. Those socks were $10. That necklace was $15. Like every little thing. It was like jackets, scarves, socks, panties, shirts, purses, like everything from head to toe. Makeup. Do you know how long it takes to build a makeup kit?
Yeah, no, I do know.
You know how expensive that is?
Yeah,
especially when you're a makeup enthusiast?
Yes.
To all my makeup enthusiasts, let me just tell y'all how many limited edition.
Yeah, like Mac.
I was just gonna say, because back in the day, you know, Mac was like the it thing.
Still
like,
to this day.
Still to this day, but like back then, like, because now people like there are so many like independent people and like people are more open to shopping at like
when
Sephora
they made like a
Ulta.
Transformers like line.
The limited collection stuff that you can't even replace or get again.
Right.
And then like, you know, when you got a friend or like somebody that works at Mac and you get that good discount and you get everything from a collection.
Right.
I had so many limited edition pieces that were ruined that I could never replace. On a makeup standpoint, my makeup kit alone was probably worth $5.
Yeah.
Just like my caboodle and like all the brushes.
Right.
That brushes are expensive.
They're
Good
so expensive.
makeup brushes are expensive. Lipsticks. Think about that. One tube of lipstick from MAC is about $17.
Yeah. Yep.
Think about if you have 10 of those. That's $170 plus tax. That's $200 on lipstick. Then you got to think about eyeshadows and eyeshadows, multiple foundations, because if you're really that girl, then you have tinted moisturizers, you have regular foundations for the daytime and the nighttime.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get into it. You know what I'm saying? So like my makeup kit was worth a lot of money and they destroyed my whole makeup kit. And I was just like, I was like, oh, you know what? I don't smoke cigarettes, but I need a cigarette right now.
Yeah, give me a joint.
Get me a joint. Get me some cigar weed or something, because y'all got me fucked up.
See, they didn't touch none of our. They destroyed the
lucky.
house.
I
walked in. I looked at Gabby. I go, literally, they didn't show it. I go, why would they fuck up the house?
Right.
They put like ranch dressing on the walls, buffalo sauce in the pool. I'm like, why?
Yeah. And then like, even when I went home, and that's all right. So the difference between me and the twins, when they went home and when I went home, they had each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different experience.
It was a different experience because when they went home, they had each other to keep each other like focused and motivated.
Yeah.
you know, to keep moving forward because they were very progressive after the show.
Right.
And like for me, like I just kind of went back into my Kermit shell and tried to figure life out after that.
Right.
And I wish that I would have had somebody else that would have experienced it with me, but nobody around me had ever been through anything like that.
And it's hard to explain. It's like no one, even when you explain it now,
they don't get it.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
They think we're being dramatic or maybe we're like over exaggerating the story. I'm like, no, this shit is real.
No, like when I came back home from Bad Girls Club, I moved back into my mom's house, and like it literally took me months to shake back. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, it took me almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Just mentally to be okay with, you know, being around people and wanting to work in the industry again.
And not only that, like when you're not on TV and then you get on TV and then like social media is just now like a thing. Like it's
different.
The first like episode ever that aired, it was Twitter, not Instagram, because Instagram really didn't exist at the beginning of our season. And I was like so taken back by the vile, disgusting human beings that get behind the computer screen. And mind you, like they can edit you like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that people think that they can talk to you a certain way, I'm like, yo, I really need to take a second because I was not expecting that. Then after a while, you just kind of comes to the conclusion that this is some weird, miserable human being who like probably would ask you for a picture if they ever met you.
It's probably a middle schooler going through puberty somewhere that hates their parents and decided that they're going to get on social media and start a bot page to like troll other people because they're not happy with their own lives. And it's usually like kids that are in like going through puberty. And that is that's the place where I had to get to it. Like, y'all motherfuckers is going through puberty and y'all don't even know what's going on in real life. Like, y'all ain't even, baby, you don't even know how to drive. So why am I sitting here arguing with you? Like, you don't have nothing but time on your hands.
Yeah.
Relax.
So that's another thing. It's like, you don't want to go back and forth with like a middle schooler.
Right.
Or like someone who's a child. So I'm like, I'm not even mad at you that you're this angry about some shit you don't even understand.
But I will cuss you the
yeah,
out.
Same. I will read you for filth.
Okay.
And then block you.
And fuck that. I'm going to cuss you the fuck out. I'm going to let you say what you got to say. And then I'm going to block you.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your point back out. I'm going to say some more fly shit. And then I'm going to block you. Because fuck you.
All right. So that is interesting. I'm not going to ask you how much you made on that lawsuit. That's personal, baby girl. But shout out to you for being successful at it. I know there's a few other girls that sued too. I don't know if theirs were success stories, right. But I know that this lawsuit in particular was definitely the nail in the coffin for your Bad Girls Club franchise. Okay, so you were super close to the Clermont twins on your season,
right?
And fans want to know if you're still close to them now.
Yes, like I love them. I was just texting with Shannon the other day. I was telling her that I was coming out here, but they just went out of town, and then I was DMing with Sinead about my clothing line and stuff like that. Like, I don't talk to them every single day. Like, we're not best friends.
Right.
But, like, I love them. I support them in anything that they do. Like, I still love them just like when we were on the show.
Right. Even
though we don't talk every day, we catch up when we can. Like, and whenever we see each other, like, I don't feel the need to like broadcast it through social media.
Right.
Because I feel like those are my real friends. Like, I feel like because I genuinely love them and care about them, that to me, it doesn't matter if other people know it.
Right.
Because we know it.
Right.
I know that I would never do anything to betray them and they would never do anything to betray me. Like, I'm not threatened by who they are.
Right.
And how successful they are. And they're not threatened by who I am and the success that I have. Because we're different people.
Yeah. And I feel like there's enough bread in the world for everybody to eat. And even if you do, so this is the problem. I feel like there's nothing wrong with collaborating with other people because even if you do, whatever that person's doing is not gonna, it's not the same thing you're trying to do. You guys aren't trying to do the same exact thing. Right. And that's what I try to explain to people because everyone's always like, oh, like there's so much competition. I'm like, there's really not.
It's really not, because I'm a firm believer in what's for you is for you.
Right.
And that's why I feel like me and the twins make such good friends, is because they're very confident in who they are and what they're doing. And I'm very confident in who I am and what I'm doing. Right. And I don't try to leech off of them or ride their coattail, and they don't try to make me like, they don't try to sun me because we're in different places in our lives or we have a different level of like celebrity status or whatever. Like, literally we get together and just have a good ghetto time.
Right, ghetto time.
A good ghetto time. Like, they from Atlanta, I'm from Atlanta. So usually like when we link up, it's usually like in Atlanta. Like they might be hosting something, or like I'll pull up, or like I remember like a few months ago I was in LA and this was before Sinead came back home. And I was like, Shannon, oh, I'm in LA. Like, what are you doing? Like, let's go out. Like,
Right.
and we just went to the club and had a good time. And it wasn't all about like, oh, let's show social media that we're friends
together,
or we're together. Like, to me, that's lame because then you're doing it for the gram. You're not doing it genuinely.
Right.
So when people like get on like my live or like when people are always messaging me like, oh my God, are you still friends with the twins? It's just kind of like, why do y'all care so much about that? Like
they do. They care about it a lot.
Like, they care about that a lot.
When I was friends with Winter, it was like always winter.
Yeah.
Where is Winter? You guys still friends? And then me and Winter obviously are not
okay.
cool anymore. Mm-hmm. And then it just turned into this whole big fiasco. And that's kind of like another reason why in my head I'm like, if I am ever cool with Bad Girl again, like I'm totally fine with collabing. Like, even Rocky is like, I'm going to come back down. I was like, whatever, because she just started her YouTube channel.
Right.
Because YouTube can be some bread if you're smart about it.
They actually just demonetized my page because I haven't used it in so long.
Wait, that's a thing?
That's a thing. They emailed me one day and was like, hey, if you don't put up a video, and not in these terms, but long story short, they were like, if you don't put up a video or some type of content in the next 14 days, we're going to demonetize your page. You don't have to reapply for the monetization again.
That's... Okay,
I can show you the email. I was like, weirdest shit ever. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is getting a little technical. Like, they just sent me this email that was like, you can apply for tiers where people can pay for certain stuff. And I haven't applied for it because I'm just like, I'm not doing that probably.
Yeah.
But you can't smoke anymore. You get automatically demonetized and they make it 18 plus or 21 plus. I can't remember. Like, there's so many rules now. But you can make like some extra bread. Like, that's what I'm doing. I was on the internet begging for money a couple years ago. Now I'm like, thank God I have YouTube because like people out here getting like fired from their jobs, not getting called back. I'm like, at least I can go to my room and be like,
okay, so guys, I just woke up and I'm about to brush my teeth and wash my face. Stay tuned for my skincare routine.
Legit. But it's like, I mean, I don't do those type of videos on my channel, but it's cool to think that you have enough people out there that like look up to you and support you, that they do find you interesting enough to watch. Like, I'm not making bread like Seven came over and she became part of like DDG squad. Like
what squad?
DDG.
I don't know.
He's like a really popular YouTuber. Oh, okay. He's a rapper.
Yeah, her. You know what? Like I follow her on Instagram. I haven't met Seven yet, but I want to because I feel like we're the same.
Yeah, she's actually a really cool, nice down to
I can't wait to meet her. I can't wait to meet her, but I follow her Instagram page and I see like the clip that she'll put up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the did she do that?
Yeah,
like,
she has somebody doing it for her. But
it looks so cute.
Yeah. But she said that meeting him and linking up with him changed her entire life because she went to making like my type of money on YouTube to like bread. Like she's making like if I was making the type of money she was making every month on YouTube, I'd have a fat ass savings account, y'all. Like my like little crib is getting ready to be bought. This type shit. Yeah, but even when she was over, we had a whole conversation about how like there's no issue in wanting to collab with other people.
Right.
Because there's so much and there's so much opportunity for everybody. Okay, so on the show, you had issues with Lauren and it had a lot to do with race.
Right.
And her being white. Well, not necessarily white, but they edited it like you were like, you're white. And then it seemed to be like an argument about how you want to marry and have children with a black man. Mm-hmm. And how did it make you feel watching all that back and having her call you racist?
Honestly, like I keep saying, like I'm a person that believes in standing in my truth. And when that situation happens, you know, like a lot of people don't know, but me and Lauren grew up in the same town.
Oh.
I'm from Atlanta, but when I was in high school, I moved to a small town called Covington, Georgia. And she lived in Covington, Georgia. Or like Conyers. Covington and Conyers are neighboring cities, and they're right there beside each other. And so me and Lauren were actually lived in the same place.
But did you ever meet?
We had never met. We never knew each other because like where we lived was still very segregated, very white and black. Like across the street from my high school was a slave plantation. Like I saw the slave house from like my high school and like my middle school. I went to Clermont Middle School and like across the street from Clermont Middle School was a slave plantation. You could see the slave house or like what with the big pillars, like very traditional, like you saw it
Right.
every day when you were driving to school. So you knew what it was. And like I was friends with a girl in middle school and in high school, and her house was a white girl. I'm not going to say her name, but I was friends with this white girl, and her house was so far off of the street that she couldn't even get cable because Comcast or AT&T or whoever the cable company was at the time refused to run a line into her yard because it was so far. That's how far off of the street that she lived.
Right.
But her dad was an older white man. And like, for instance, we could be friends at school.
But you could never go to her house.
I could never go to her house.
My dad explained the same exact type of situation with his best white guy friend.
I was never allowed to go to this girl's house because her dad was a racist. But she was cool and I was cool. And like, I come from a very militant family and she does too. So we just kind of understood that we're friends in public and we're friends at school, but because of our parents or because of the way that our families were raised, that, you know, and it wasn't even necessarily that my mom was a racist, but my mom just kind of knew like what type of time her dad was on.
Right.
So it's kind of like, well, if you're not allowed to go to her house, then she can't come to our house.
Right.
Y'all can go out and have fun together, but it's not fair for her to be able to come to our house and you can't go to her house.
Right. Yep.
And so when it came to Lauren, it was just kind of like the producers put a battery in her back. Because really and truly, I feel like, and this is just me being very candid, I feel like had I met Lauren like in Covington, Georgia, like we probably would have been cool. Like if we went to the same high school together, like we probably could have been cool. Because a lot of my friends were white. Right. I had a lot of white friends growing up. Like some of my best friends were white kids. And I hate when people say, oh, I don't see color, because you have to see it. But I didn't care about it because I wanted to see the true essence of who people were.
But it's hard to see the true essence of who people are in an environment like Bad Girls Club.
Right, exactly. And so with that being said, I knew where she was from and I knew where she was from there.
Right.
I moved there in high school.
Right.
And so I already knew what I was dealing with when she told me where she was. When she said she was from Covington, Georgia, I'm like, I went to high school. I went to Newton County High School. I already know what type of time you want. Your daddy a racist, your family racist. Like you wear John Deere, you go hunting, you go mudding. I don't go hunting, but I would go mudding with my friends because it's just some country
I don't
shit
even know
that you
what the mudding is.
So mudding is basically like after it rains, you get on the four-wheelers.
And just ride around.
And you ride and you'll sit in one spot and you'll like, and you'll spin and the mud will spin up and like.
I'm like, I just got a fresh blow dry. Bye.
But you get what I'm saying? Like the mud, like,
yeah.
That's called mudding. Or we would do this thing called cow tipping.
That's so mean, by the way.
It is a terrible thing to do.
It's so awful.
It is awful, but that's what kids in the country do. Like, we don't mean anything by it. We're not trying to be cruel to animals. But if you grew up in Alabama, if you grew up in Tennessee, Mississippi, you know, Georgia.
Don't do it.
You probably did it growing up.
But don't do it anymore.
But so basically what we would do is like in the middle of the night, like we would run.
I don't even want to know.
You sure?
No, I don't want to know.
Okay, I'm not going to tell y'all that. We used to push the cows over.
That's awful. And how do they get back up? They just lay there hungry.
No, they don't lay there and die.
But they lay there trying to.
They'll get back up, but they sleep. What it is, they sleep standing up. So when you do it in the middle of the night, when you go cow tipping, you do it in the middle of the night or like when it's late because they sleep standing up. And it's just like.
just scare the shit out of them.
You just push one over and run away. That's it.
That's awful.
It's like going nick knocking. You ain't never go nick knocking growing up?
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of nick knocking? So nick knocking, I'm from the South, y'all. So nick knocking is like where you run up to somebody's door. You might ring the doorbell and you knock on the door and you run away.
Why is it called
nick knocking?
Yeah.
So
no, I'm not going to say it.
Girl, bye. Nick knocking. So we used to go knocking growing up. Like, we used to do that.
Why would it just be like, because we call that like I think where I grew up, we just call that like a DoorDash. Like we just run
or
up
something like that. Like, yeah. But in the South, we called it knocking. Like, where literally.
But what if it's a white person doing it?
It's still called knocking.
But
I mean, I don't know what white people call it because I'm not white, but black people, we called it knocking. Like literally, you'll like, let's just say like.
What, you do it at like 2, 3 in the morning?
Or just whatever time. Like you'll literally, like you and a group of your friends, you'll run up to somebody's door. You'll beat on the door and just run away. And just run off before they get to the door.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever played a game in the middle of the street where 2 cars come after each other? What's it called? Chicken? I feel like you would have played that.
Yes.
You've done it?
Mm-hmm.
No.
But we even played chicken in the pool. Like where you get on somebody's like shoulders.
And you have to like knock each other off?
Yeah.
That's not chicken though.
What y'all call that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
That's called chicken.
No, chicken is literally like when you come like straight at each other and someone's got to move first.
In a car?
In a car.
Oh, I wasn't playing no car games.
Yeah, so you didn't do it in a car.
I didn't do it in a car, but we did it in a pool.
Yeah,
we did it in
the
a
car
pool.
seems a little dangerous.
That's a little too dangerous for me. I'm not about that life because I'm not trying to die.
I know, a car scare the shit out of me, bro.
But yeah, like we would do that. But saying that to say that when me and Lauren were on the season together, they put a big battery in her back. And they had her bother me a lot because like I'm a very like cool person. If you ever notice, like if you watch my season, there weren't a lot of things that really bothered me or got under my skin. But it was kind of like once I got started, I really never knew how to stop. I just kind of like took it to the extreme.
Right.
But that was why, because I wanted to have fun. And I felt like I pretty much got along with the twins and the other girls. But the producers would get in the other girls' heads about me wanting to be friends with them and the twins. Mm-hmm. And they didn't want it like that. And so that's where the biggest issue came in, because there were times where I could be like, oh, well, you know, like we're not really with Lauren, but if the rest of y'all want to come out, y'all can. Or like, we're not with the rest of them, but Kat, we like you. You can come with us. Like, we fuck with you. Like, you're cool. Or, you know, like even with Jazz, like I still don't like, I mean, you know, I have my own like thing with Jazz to this day, but it's like, like even still, like you one of us. So it doesn't matter.
You mean black?
Black.
Yeah.
You black like us.
Is she light skinned?
Yeah.
Is she half white?
Her parents black.
And what was her deal?
I think that the thing with Jazz was she wanted to be the leader, and because she couldn't be the leader of our pack, that it was easier for her to be the leader of the pack of the other girls. It was always a power struggle, because I feel like she wanted to be cool with us and she could have been cool with us, but she wouldn't have been the leader in the group. But see,
why does there have to be a leader?
Exactly.
You know
because like the thing with me and the twins was we always switched leadership roles. Like sometimes the twins would decide what we did and sometimes I would decide, but we didn't give a damn as long as we were having fun.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like the thing with Jazz was she wanted to be in control of something, and because she couldn't control us and be quote unquote the leader of the house,
right,
then she didn't want to be friends with us, because it was easier for her to tell the other girls what to do and for them to follow her.
Right.
That didn't work with me and the twins.
Right.
It was like either you fucking with us or you fucking with them, because we got our own agenda.
It's like how every season goes. It's like half split. Like the house always divides into two, and then it's some people go into another group, and then that group. So let me ask you a question: are you cool? Besides this one, are you cool with anyone from your season now?
Yeah. I'm cordial with Ginger. She lives in New York. She was a replacement. So after me and the twins left, there were other girls that came. So one of the girls that came after I left, her name was Ginger. She has like red hair and like freckles. Like
her ass got blocked.
Oh.
She talked shit. Like literally didn't even know who she was, and she just used to always talk shit. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Block. Didn't even know who the fuck you were talking about till you said the red hair. See ya.
So she lives in New York. We haven't seen each other personally in a long time.
Well, it's COVID.
Right. But she's cool. Like, you know, we like, if I'm on social media, she's on social media, like we'll
like each other's pics and shit.
Right. Yeah. We'll FaceTime every now and then just to like check on each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, see what's up.
Right.
And then there's another girl named Amber. That was a replacement from my season. We're cordial.
You know why you're cordial? Because you didn't really live with them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't live with them. I don't really know them like on a personal level to say, oh my God, I can't with them.
Right.
Because I'm a very open-hearted person.
Yeah, same. I feel like I go into every situation like I can give this a shot.
So I just feel like y'all didn't do anything to me personally. I was never there while y'all were there. Y'all found out information about me without me ever being around. That's not your fault. You just went based off of what you were told.
Right.
So I can give you a chance to get to know me for who I am, and then you can decide whether you want to fuck or not.
Right.
And I'm fine with it either way, because I'm going to live my life and my shit lit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then there was one other girl named Allie. The three replacements, I actually met all of them.
Yeah.
And Allie was cool. I don't keep in touch with Allie now, but we just kind of fell off. There wasn't anything that happened. There's no bad blood. Like, I don't have anything against any of them. But at this point, like, me and Amber follow each other on social media. Me and Ginger follow each other on social media. But the rest of the girls, like, at this point, Allie, I don't really know her that well. I've only met her like once. I think we went out like one time. I went to her house when I was in Atlanta, and we probably like went out that night or something like that.
And that was it.
And that was really it. I only met her one time. But the original girls that were on my season, I hope y'all all die. I hate to say that, but
that was literally my next question. I don't even know how to ask it.
I mean, like, I'm gonna say it like this, because, like,
okay, so this is what my question was gonna be, is like, because I don't know if you know this, but like someone from my season that I'm not cool with passed away,
right?
And me and her, I have not seen her since the reunion. I never checked on her, and like,
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, so the thing is like, I grieved her death.
Right.
I cried for days straight, and it wasn't because like I knew her and like, but we had this experience together, and producers come in and we're their puppets. So whatever happened, because we all bonded on like the Haitian, like we're all Haitian, like me and Gabby are half Haitian, she was Haitian, and it started off so great. And I literally, when she passed away, I sat and I thought, what is a moment on my season where we like both, me and Gabby started hating her and she started hating us? I couldn't even remember, and that's what made me sick.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't even remember. It's not that like, and I feel bad. Like, she's 34. Like,
she was young like us. She had so much life to live, and for her life to just be cut so short for like probably God knows whatever reason, but you just never know like how long people are really going to be on this earth. And you know what? Let me take that back. I don't wish death on anyone,
right?
But I just feel like y'all did so much to us during our season that y'all didn't have to do. It doesn't matter how much y'all didn't like us. Hindsight is always 20/20, and y'all really did something that affected us. Whether we will fully ever divulge how it really affected us, or like if we'll ever really get candid about it. Like, I'll probably never really get candid about anybody. Get candid with it. Excuse me. I'll never really get candid about it with anybody besides like my family and my therapist,
right? Because
it's just that touchy to me. But it's just kind of like, y'all did shit that y'all didn't have to do, and y'all did it for ratings, and y'all didn't even get anything out of it but $500 a week.
That's what it does. Yeah, and I know how that feels, because like sometimes I think about, I did some stuff on my season,
right?
Like, there's some stuff where I was like, but I was 22, and like the most I did was pull a bitch's hair. Like, I didn't try to rip her lip ring out.
Right. I didn't try to ruin nobody. Like, I didn't try to like snatch your life from up under your feet. Like, I didn't try to like destroy you as a person. Like, I probably did some shit for kicks and giggles. It was probably funny in that moment. I probably embarrassed you, but in those moments of that happening, this wasn't all innocent fun, because we all knew what we were there for. But for y'all to get on national TV and decide that y'all gonna piss in bath water, y'all ran a tub of water and all squatted over it and pissed in it. That's like somebody getting on Instagram and crying. The same way that y'all get on Instagram and cry and upload the video is the same way that I feel about them pissing over that bathtub of water.
I cry on videos sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
And then you post it on social media?
Yeah.
I don't understand y'all.
I really do.
I did that one time, but I was on live, and then I just like let the live stay. But like, when people get on social media, or when people record themselves crying like, oh my God, and then they post it, I just don't know why y'all do that.
Okay, let me explain. At least for me, like, for instance, like if I'm going through something, or if I'm like reliving a story and I start crying, it's almost therapeutic.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like I'm like, I don't have, like, my camera is my therapist, and then I just share it with the world, because this is how I think of it. When I'm fucked up in a moment, or I'm having a moment, I feel like someone on a couch or in a bathroom on the floor with a bottle of wine is like, damn, someone in this world, because maybe that'll save someone's life.
You're right. I get that. But I think with me, because I'm not a naturally emotional person, I'm logical,
so emotional.
And I'm not. So for me, like, the one time I cried was one night I met this homeless lady.
Wait, one night ever?
Not ever in life. But
one night ever.
The one time I cried on social media.
Oh, okay.
The one time I cried on social media and uploaded it to social media, I was walking my dogs in Atlanta and I met a homeless lady and she was saying that she was blind in one eye, but she had to be blind in order to see the goodness of God.
Oh, wow.
That fucked me up.
Yeah.
That fucked me up. And it made me cry. Like, I literally still have those videos in my phone, but I uploaded these videos and I was just saying, like, you never know who you're going to encounter. You never know.
You just don't know, yeah.
Is placing an angel or someone in your vicinity and like how it could potentially like affect you or change you as a person, whatever. And so that was my cry video, the one cry video that I put on social media. Because like sometimes like I be looking at people's crying videos and they be ugly crying.
I'm an ugly crier.
I'm the ugly.
I am the ugliest crier in the world. And everyone on my YouTube channel is like, you cry so much. I'm like, I cry all the time. I cry when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm mad, when I'm hungry. Yeah. Like when I got my ass beat on Batgirls Club, I wasn't crying because I was hurt. I was crying because in my head I was like, yo, I want the worst shit to happen to every single one of them. Like dead ass. Like it was so much anger going through my blood that tears were pouring out of my eyes.
Right.
But people don't know that because they don't know how you are. But I cry about I cry on like CVS commercials if they're good, Budweiser commercials.
I be crying about everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like I looked at this picture of this girl the other day on social media and like her baby drowned in a pool.
Oh God.
That's awful. This girl that I know from Houston, her baby drowned. And the fact that she's just been so resilient and so strong.
I couldn't get me padded walls. So I'm not going to make it.
Her strength through all of this and just looking at those pictures of her and just like how she's just carrying on life and like trying to move forward, like made me cry because I want to give her a piece of my strength.
Right.
And my sister was like, why do you keep crying about everything? And I'm just like, I'm valid. Mind your business.
Yeah.
Let me have my moment.
See, I don't care if people judge me for crying. I'm crying.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry tonight. I'm probably not. I'm not in a crying mood. Yesterday I cried for sure.
Right. I cried. I ugly cried yesterday.
I cried yesterday too. I cried a lot yesterday. And I was like, I'm going to bed early and I'm going to start over tomorrow because I'm doing my podcast and get my shit together. Period. Sometimes you're just gonna cry.
You do, and I feel like it's a good release.
Yeah.
It is. It's very necessary on an emotional and mental like standpoint.
Yeah,
it's very like necessary.
Yeah, I think you need it, especially if you're about to get your period. I have mine now, and I'm like, everybody just watch the out.
Right. I always cry like if I don't know I'm about to get my period, and I just start crying and getting emotional out of nowhere. The next day, my period coming, I'll be like, "That's why I was crying."
Yeah,
I was crying because my period. Yeah. And then I'd be like, I'm sorry, y'all. I was a yesterday. I was crying, but
isn't it weird that we go through that? Men don't even know.
They don't have no idea.
So listen, we have so many more questions to ask her, but this is already we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Damn.
I know. That's the longest I think I've interviewed someone on Swallow It. So we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, guys, so it's far too long, so we're going to do a part 2, but we're going to switch it up. I'm not going to do a part 2 podcast episode. We're just going to order some food, have a mukbang. I've had Randy here, so if you see me and Jela looking at... Did I just f*** that up?
No.
Oh, my God, why did I just get in my head about that?
Because you probably wanted to say Jayla Mina, but
yeah, but I did. I got so nervous. I was like, did I say the right thing? We've been like, if you see us staring in the corner of me fixing my hair, it's because Randy's in the back. And so we're going to just like order some food, you know, put on some sweatpants because I'm hot, and we're going to just do a mukbang. We got some dating questions. We got have you ever. We got truth. You know, we're just going to switch up the mukbang, and it's going to be a part 2. So you got the Bad Girls Club questions, which took up all the time.
Right.
Because we were like,
is nosy.
Yeah, we were like, we're going to just hurry up and brush through the past, and it took 2 hours to get through.
We're talking about, let's get the past out the way. The past took the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. But doesn't it feel good to just talk about it sometimes?
It does. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, it's good to talk about it with people that have somewhat been through what you've been through, because nobody would ever understand.
No one.
Right. Yeah.
No one. So we're going to do a part 2. This video will be out first, and I will upload the part 2 in a couple days after. But in the meantime, don't forget to follow Jela on Instagram. Go ahead, plug all your social media.
Okay, so if you guys want to follow me on my personal page, it's Jela Mina.
Spell that.
JelaMinah. But once you start typing the letters, it'll show up, The Jela Show. And if you want to follow my business page, my clothing line, it's Normal Culture. All together, Normal Culture. Normal Culture. Follow me on the gram. Go to my website, www.normalculture. If you like to be naked, if you love clothes that are visually expressive, or if you just like to live your life on the edge, then I definitely have something on my website for you. Period.
Do you have a YouTube?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's called The Jela Show. I don't use it very often, but you never know.
You need to get on that, girl.
I may have a skincare routine for you.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So if you want a skincare routine or just like some natural health care tips.
Or you could do mukbangs.
All that.
Vlogs.
What she said.
Yeah. There's so much you can do on there, girl. Story times.
What she said. Follow her, follow me, follow us. Like, it's lit.
So you guys don't forget to follow me as well. XXO Danielle on Instagram. Swallow It Podcast. Please support the podcast page. I know you go to my personal page, but please support the podcast page because there will be bonus clips, pictures, etc. on the podcast page that will not be on my personal page. Follow me and Gabby's joint Instagram page, The Official Victor Twins, and please follow my puppy, Little Caesar the Frenchie. I'm going to plug him all day because he's way cuter than me. He's sleeping on the floor right now. He's been a really good boy. And that's it. The audio will be available on Apple Podcasts. I don't know. Why am I having a brain fart? This is ridiculous.
Do you have Spotify too?
Yeah. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher. And the visuals will be on my YouTube channel. And if you're here right now, you're looking at both of our beautiful faces. And stay tuned for part 2, where you can also see Randy's beautiful face stuffing it with whatever we order. And we'll get into her juicy sex life. And you guys know I have none. So we'll just have some fun with that. This is Swallow It. Open wide. Take it all in. Till next time. Peace out.